Hi, Developer Ezra here. I'm back for another video. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I just wanted to give a little update on my status after the layoff. It's been 6 months. It's a good time. Severance is technically ending at this point. So what a great timing to re-up and talk about what I talked about before. Another thing I wanted to talk about today was to revisit those videos and see some of the comments, good and bad, and just kind of react to it. Because there were a lot of interesting things that I wanted to talk about. I tried to look at most of the comments, but some of the things were a little bit more nuanced, and I was afraid that the words I type out down doesn't quite communicate the tone. So, you know. But rather than me just like babbling on at the camera of what I think, and that could be obviously biased a little bit, to keep myself a little bit honest, I brought a friend along. He's a good friend of mine from my past team, one of my favorite teams I worked in. Great project. Actually, that is the woe that I have with that team that actually kind of got me jaded because it was so good. Um, but yeah, let me not really talk about that too much. Chris, you want to introduce yourself?
If I had known we were going to talk about comments on your videos, I would have deleted mine.
Oh, yeah,
It'd be
well,
embarrassing.
we'll see. We'll make sure we hit those.
I'm Chris. I am a product manager at a large tech company, and which is why Ezra brought me in. Because a product manager will always keep an engineer
That's right.
honest.
That's right.
I don't care if you commented on your code. I just want you to deliver
uh, yeah, that's what I like about you, right? Making sure I deliver everything, right?
it.
We have to because sometimes we just dream too big and just kind of float on.
And by we, of course, I think he means mostly me would dream too big.
Yeah,
But that's neither here nor there.
yeah. We strike a great balance in a team. That's what it is.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That is the truth. Let's get right into it.
Yeah. So main thing that I wanted to talk about. So I said on the time of layoff, I'm happy because I had all this passion that I went to
Hmm.
work on, especially game development and some of the creative things I went to do. And you can do that. A lot of the opinions out there are like, oh, hey, why don't you just work on that as your side project
Hmm.
as you're working? You keep the day job, you get the money flowing, and then you get to also work on your side project. Tech work is like not laborly intensive, so the common opinion is that you could probably get to working on those things pretty comfortably after work. But I think what I said there was like, no, mentally it's just too much. Once you come back after sitting on a computer for hours, you just want to kind of scroll through what people would consider a waste of time, chill out, as it were. Um,
Not that if you're watching this, you're wasting your time. This is time well spent.
I'm not saying it was a waste of time. But I'm saying like that's what it feels like,
It's
or
perceived
that's
as.
what is perceived as.
Yeah.
Now I have a lot of different perspective and a change in mindset since then. So maybe that'll be a little something to talk about.
It does seem that you might need time
Hmm. Hmm.
that to perhaps not consider it a waste of time, but instead you need times of high utilization and lower utilization, or at least from a mental engagement perspective. That's certainly true for me, and I absolutely, especially I find with creativity,
Hmm.
because it's a in doing a creative project, I need more mental space
Hmm.
than I typically come home with at 6 or 7 p.m.
And of course, I mean, once you come back from work, you're not done from responsibility, especially if you have a family.
But now that you've had 6 months now
Right.
of sort of dedicated time to be able to put towards the projects that you wanted,
Hmm.
how are you feeling? Has your perspective changed?
I still believe that if I stayed working, no matter how passionate I am about my side project, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Mm.
I think the biggest point that I want to make is that, like, I thought that too, just like grind hard, make money, prepare for future, and eventually you will have enough savings to do what you want. Years and years after years, over and over again, I'm just asking myself, when is the right time,
Right,
right? So you're just wondering, okay, well, after this much money saved, maybe I could go on. But something else comes up that
right,
makes it so that,
right.
oh, okay, well, either the economy's bad or like obviously there is a pressure of opinions of others
Right.
around you being like,
Right.
why quit? Like you have the opportunity to make so much money and still do the things that you love on the side. Why take the risk?
Right. Right.
So with that mindset, it would have been very difficult to make that decision myself to hop off and actually work on my stuff. And you might say it's a matter of discipline, but I mean that's the part of the equation. Let's say I lack that discipline to do that,
Okay.
then that means I won't be able to do that.
Right. Right.
So getting laid off at this timing and being able to, work off of some, I don't want to focus too much on money, but being able to get severance to do what I want for this short period of time was a really good opportunity and an eye opener for me.
One of the things that I've observed in watching your videos and in some of the conversations that we've had is your ability, or maybe it's just the available time to, space development out. I think you were playing Zelda.
Yeah.
You were able to take some time and play through Zelda. We had a conversation about an RPG, Disco Elysium, that we
Mhm.
liked, that I hurried my way through
Yeah.
when get to the next thing, complete the next quest. Looking back on it, this sort of bizarre sense of
Yeah.
self-imposed urgency.
Mhm.
I think to me, one difference between, the way that we were able to, sort of approach a side hustle
Mhm.
versus the way that it seems like you have more room now for inspiration.
I don't know if this is due to the layoff or if some sort of like something clicked in my mind, but something that I keep telling people is like being able to enjoy just a simple walk in the park. Because previously, while working, even walking a dog is because it's just purely a chore. You
Right.
want to get it done, you go to the next step. So I have no patience for waiting my dog to take care of her business and then walk back hurriedly, carry whatever I need to do to get back to
Right.
what I was doing
Right.
quickly. Now I'm in the place of, well, I mean, if it takes more time, it takes more time. Like, enjoy the moment,
Right.
and then you do your best moment to moment, and then hopefully it'll build up to something um, more than short term.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's what everyone's
Did I get my
afraid.
message across? I'm still happy. I'm still
I
happy.
wasn't quite clear.
Yeah.
It's not quite. I'm not really picking up on that.
Yeah, yeah.
In case it's not clear over video, Ezra is, at least from my outside observation, you seem to have a much higher quality of life than perhaps you previously enjoyed.
Don't get me wrong. There is a luxury and like a rare opportunity I had, which is one severance. And I did work in the industry for like 10 years. I was a software engineer at I don't want to be too specific, but I already said it in the beginning of the video. Like
True.
in the first video, I worked in Amazon for 7 years, Google for like 32 years. Well, 8 years, I guess, in Amazon. But so total of about a decade, and you end up getting some savings,
Mm-hmm.
especially because I'm a single male that's living in the United States of America, working in a big tech company. So that has been a great opportunity.
Mm.
So I don't want to get the message out saying that those are worthless. That happened, so I was able to be prepared. But if I think back and say, would I have been able to get out of that grind in order to do what I want and find happiness? I'm not so sure. So what's the message here? I don't know. Obviously, this is just purely an opinion. You do what you need to do. So I can't say, oh, quit now. But one thing that I want to say is that, looking back, after all, I could have done this earlier than I thought.
Mm.
It is everybody's situation is unique, so who am I to say like what's the best course of action? I'm just kind of putting my thought and experience out there for people to make their own decision. So,
At least my takeaway
mm,
from watching this experience is my job,
mhm,
despite Rationally, I know that I have more self-worth than my job.
Uh-huh.
My job affects my perception of myself in an outsized way.
Mhm.
And when I look at the way you've approached this as an opportunity to try something that you didn't have, that you wanted to do, but haven't had a chance to do. Whereas I think about, my mindset, which would trend towards, I have to get, I have to find another job as fast as possible. I have to, and it's not rationally
Mhm.
motivated. It's a self-worth. It's a, what will people think?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm
Okay.
just a guy without a job.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's been a good example to me to watch this, process, and just to take a step away
Mm-hmm.
from that mindset.
Yeah, yeah. I'm learning it myself right now. Obviously, I do fall back every now and then to think about that every time I interact with people. But
Get a job,
right,
man.
I mean, guys, that's what when people. I mean, we're gonna get into the comments, but there are a lot of those things of like, okay, I see what you mean, I hear you, brother, but like, uh,
Get a job, you
yeah,
bum.
exactly. Like, might as well do it because you have the opportunity. You're wasting your time.
Right,
That's what it comes
right.
down to. People are using the word waste, right? And I just feel that. I mean, to say something is wasted, that means you're using.
It's a judgment call.
Yeah, it's a judgment
It's a
call.
judgment call.
It's like you're saying the value is not meeting the expectation,
Right,
and there is an opportunity cost that is considered a waste.
right.
I don't know. That's where I'm saying like nothing is more important than other is what I'm trying to get at here. To me, it feels that way. That may not be true for everyone, but like painting a picture is just as important. Well, painting a picture in my leisurely time to find enjoyment and happiness is just as important as getting a product out the door.
Right, right,
And I should be as happy to do one or the other.
right.
That's what I'm
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
okay.
Let's see what other people say, though.
Yeah, let's get to the comments. So the mainly I'm looking at two videos right now. My layoff video, the very first video, there are a lot of comments there about resonance, about counter ideas and all that. So we're going to go over that. And then another one, I had a popular video about why I won't return to big tech company was one of the things.
A manifesto.
Manifesto. I mean, it's a little bit clickbaity. That was not intentional. I mean, I just thought about it. And I had that conversation with a lot of people already, but
I think it was a powerful moment.
yeah. Do I regret saying it like that? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think.
Too late now.
Yeah, too late now. I can't go back to big companies now.
They'll find it.
Yeah,
They're immortalized forever.
I know.
Aren't you the guy who said?
Yeah, and they're like, you're working in big tech again. Yeah, well, we'll see. Hey, does it count if I make a big tech company and I own the company?
No,
It doesn't
I don't
count,
think so.
right? Okay.
No, no.
Maybe
Because
I'll make a big tech company that doesn't operate like big tech company.
that's what they all say at the
Yeah,
beginning.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want a
We're
big tech
different.
company. I just want a small
A
company.
small company.
Small company is enough.
It's
I think the
fine.
companies are too big. That's another topic right, for another day. All right, let's get to the comment. All right. Should I read it? Do you want
Oh
to read
no,
it?
I think I should read it.
Okay, you can
Okay.
sift through. Let's sift through. We'll react together. And maybe you'll choose one. I'll choose one. We can go back.
Okay. Okay. That seems fair and equitable.
Okay.
Okay. We're going with the top one.
Okay.
This is from Pam. I hear you. Same here. Software development is mental labor and it can burn you out fast, particularly if you work in demanding places. As a more experienced developer, I advise every young software engineer to start figuring out a graceful exit strategy from this industry. At some point, the industry will kick you out. No one needs a 50 to 60-year-old software engineer if you're not in the position of a CTO or some tech manager.
Is that it? Okay.
That's it.
I mean, look, I kind of agree with it. Maybe not to like specifics of, what did it say? Let me see.
50 to 60-year-old.
Yeah, no one needs 50 to 60-year-old. Like, kind of. I do agree, I guess, in a way. Graceful exit strategy. That's a good way to put it. I guess counter to that, my exit strategy wasn't very graceful. I was kind of
It
in
was a more of a plot twist
yeah, it was like a
than a.
break. It was a break. So in a computing term, I was term interrupted.
Interrupted.
I was
Yes.
terminated
Yes.
from my program. You know what's funny? When I started working in big tech, like very first job I had, I was like really excited. I wanted to get everything done. And I did. Most ticket closed. I was working outside of work hour all the time,
Hmm.
absorbing information like a sponge. And I knew everything. And I was kind of proud of the fact that I knew more than a lot of my peers or
Right.
even my seniors
Right.
in regards to the topics. And I felt like, oh, I'm the only one who cares about the work. Now, looking back, I realize why. I'm slightly biased due to the fact that I have been laid off. And that is a testament to the whole the company doesn't care about you
Right.
or your timing. I've done a lot of work. Our team provided a lot of values in the team that I was working in as
Right.
well, and everybody just kind of got cut off just for the fact that I don't know whatever, excuse my language, BS reasons they came up with.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's true. The company doesn't care about the individual.
No.
And they don't really have an obligation to do that.
No.
Like, especially a big tech company is just like what shareholder company, right? They only care
Right.
about
Right.
the values of the stock and yeah.
Turn on investment.
That's so yeah. They that's a good point. I agree. It's a long way to say I agree.
On to you.
All right, all right.
Let me ask you this question. Did you feel
Mm.
in any way more or less jaded because of there's a lot of rhetoric in big tech companies that they do care a
Oh,
lot.
interesting.
You're very valuable, valued employee, very important to the company. Did you feel at all?
I mean, I'm not hired currently, so I can speak kind of freely, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little bit. No, no, they don't. I mean, you could see it in the evaluation. It's funny because like it's a known secret, right? Like managers will tell you exactly what goes into evaluation, what's valued. And like if you're close enough with some of them, even my previous manager who was in Google, who came from Amazon and
mm,
had manager peers in Amazon, and he was just talking about how hearing stuff about stack ranking and
right.
hiring just to fire. Well, I don't know. That's controversial, so I won't get too into that. Impersonal decisions
Yes,
and impersonal culture is encouraged the way the system is set up.
right.
So yeah, I don't think companies care. Though I don't know why they want to sound like they want to care. Like, why do they want to look like they care?
I feel like that's a good question for the audience. Why do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I have cynical opinions,
Uh huh.
uh, but I'd be curious to know. Is it just a shameless corpo tactic to
Yeah.
keep an employee, retain an employee another day?
Mm.
Is it actually motivated by something, something intrinsically? Uh, I, you know,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. Leave it in the comments. All right. Next comment. This one is from Robinson Lar Okulu. Said to hear that faced a similar issue in the U.S., but in a university setting. It is pretty brutal and aggressive way. If I can read, aggressive. Maybe that's why I got laid off. I can't read. It is pretty brutal and aggressive way of disposing of people, especially if they are internationals with families and have to return their home. Hope people derive lessons from this and avoid the U.S. in the future. Oh, okay. That ending was kind of strong. Avoid the
I,
U.S.
I,
uh
I can't argue with it.
really? Okay. Well, I don't know
I
if
have
it's like
opinions. I have
okay.
opinions.
All right,
No,
let me
but
hear it.
but
Let me hear it.
I the I think the immigration
Uh-huh.
process is ridiculous.
Oh, I see.
I think it is ridiculous that we would move someone, relocate someone from India with their family to the United States and 2 months later fire them
Oh, right.
and send them, and then they can't get a job
Yeah.
and they can't get a job inside the company. Their visa prevents them from
Mm.
going to another company. And so within 90 days,
Yeah.
they're moving all of their household stuff back to India. That is ridiculous to me.
I mean, that is crazy. Actually, thinking about it, like, you make a lot of financial decisions with, especially like big companies that are known to
Yeah,
be stable.
right,
You've put some trust in it to make some financial decision of like buying a place,
right,
contract,
right,
buying a car. I mean, those are all basic needs.
right,
Not I'm not even talking about like fancy stuff.
right. Basic life decisions that are
Oh my God.
on hold until you can get a visa stamped, or until you can change your visa, or until it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I work with a lot of
Uh-huh.
teams on different with different immigration statuses. I've seen how difficult it is for someone to keep keep working,
Hmm.
pick up, move to the United States, try to learn try to learn where they are, try to, get everything moved in, get, acclimate to the, to the local area, while still,
Yeah.
keep delivering. Um,
It's crazy.
I don't think we talk about it
Yeah.
enough, and or, recognize it.
Yeah.
We have folks who go, it's like oh, well, I'm taking 2 weeks of vacation,
Mm.
or I'm working from India for 2 weeks
Hmm.
so that they can get their visa stamped. That means they're working, 18-hour days, almost reverse cycle, almost overnight, because it's, the rest of their teams in Seattle.
Right, right.
It's it just frustrates me.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely no leeway. Like at the personal level, we try to understand, right, as a teammate.
Right.
But when the directives are coming from above
Right.
and the pressure, especially with like, I mean, I can't imagine what it feels like right now at the company after actually having witnessed all these people get laid off, and then now there's a like the fear alone could just kind of drive you into this like insanity and insecurity.
Right. Right. Because of those life decisions that are on hold.
Yeah. Man, I didn't even think about that because I'm just thinking, imagining, right? Like the whole 3 month scenario of like
Right.
being here. Especially, that's just you and your direct family. What
Right.
about like children and their education and all
Yep.
this stuff? I can't.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't disagree, and or maybe at the very least,
Hmm.
my opinion, at the very least, coming in with your eyes wide open.
Okay. All right. So be careful out there. I have to say this one because I like this one.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
Loved how positive and chill you are about your life. Really, heart. Thank you. This is from Nishtha Gupta. Nishtha Gupta.
Okay.
Thank you. I like positive comments. Yes, I try to stay positive.
Okay. Now give me the phone so that I can find a
Alright,
negative one.
fine.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. There are a lot. It's okay.
There's a lot.
A lot of positive.
Positive's good. You know, a lot of people feel kind of encouraged, I think. So that's a good thing. I feel a little bit of value. Now we were talking about value. I don't have to be valuable.
That's
I
true.
have no need for being valuable, but you know, it feels good.
In no way affirmed by the.
Yes, yes. A little
uh,
bit of affirmation is okay. I seek
okay.
affirmation.
Okay. I'm
I'm
just.
human.
All right. Here we go.
Right.
I am an aerospace major. This is from MK. I am an aerospace major in my junior year, but I love computer science as well. The only downside, which I don't like about it, is sitting in front of the computer all the time. I am more like hands-on and physical person. I can't sit in front of a computer that long. I feel like physical stress is better than mental stress. I mean, computer science majors make more, but still it is a draining job. But I wish you good luck and get some rest.
Thank you. I have been getting some rest. Regards to mental versus physical labor, I don't want to put values and comparison between the two because, like, also it depends on the person to person, right? Like, if I'm actually somehow disabled or physically set back, then obviously physical labor is a lot worse. For example, my mother is old now, right?
Right.
Physical labor
Right.
is a lot more difficult than mental labor. But I also know that, I've also heard her saying like she prefers physical labor over mental labor. um, there is some simplicity in physical labor of actually being able to do something and call it done. A lot of it, a lot of the times, there is nature of the physical labor is that after you're done, you can call something
Yep.
done.
Right.
The problem with, like, as he was saying, sitting in front of a computer doing something, especially product development, it never ends. There is a no there is no done product. There's always a bug. There's always something that you can improve on,
Right.
and there's always a stakeholder. I mean, this is probably familiar with you as PM. There's always everybody, like bazillion stakeholders coming into the project, being like, "Oh, we need this, we need this, we need that,"
Yep.
and you kind of have to satisfy them sometimes,
Right.
depending on who's speaking.
Right. Right.
So, yeah. What about you? What do you think about the mental labor?
Well, uh, I was an Army officer for 10 years prior to coming into tech, and which was far more physical labor
Right.
than it was. It was mentally challenging as well, but it was physically very challenging. It's almost two different.
Uh-huh.
It's apples and oranges. The project that I'm currently on is mentally
Yeah.
very taxing.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fast paced. It's a steep ramp. It's a new technology, and I come home every night and I'm just exhausted. I walk back and forth. And do something draining.
Yeah.
I will say that I do think for me, and maybe for this person as well, I will say that for me, the satisfaction of seeing something
Mm-hmm.
tangible, physical, tangible, that and done
Uh-huh.
and done.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm laughing because I'm just thinking about, like, back in elementary school when I was a kid, like digging a hole. Like, I would dig holes for fun,
Great.
and just like a hole being dug to a shape that I wanted. That's all I needed.
Project complete.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now here we go.
Okay.
Here we
What
go.
do we have?
We're gonna rip the Band-Aid off.
All right.
Okay, no more kumbaya.
Okay.
The fact that this is from Neil M. The fact that you are happy that your employer saw no value in what you brought to the table for them says it all about why you were one of the first to go. But hey, we are all happy you got laid off too. That's like a straight comment from Blind right there.
Yeah, I know, that's pretty
Liar.
funny. I mean, he or she or they. I mean, this person used the word "we," so I'm assuming they're in the company, or are they pretending to be? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Speaking on behalf of
Speaking on behalf of the big company.
all of them.
Yeah.
Speaking on behalf of Fang,
Yeah.
we are glad.
Yeah. Because obviously, I was not adding any value already.
No.
So.
No. If you've managed to work at Amazon and Google,
Yeah, for 10 years.
Uh-huh. Very little value added.
Yeah. Well, sarcasm aside,
yes.
sarcasm
we
aside,
can set it aside.
I guess I could say, yeah, technically. I mean, obviously, that's what I'm saying. Employers actually do not see value in anything, I think. I think I was saying this before. They don't actually care about you or the things that you work about. If you actually work in these company on projects, like, like, all the small decisions that you end up making is like not important at all.
Right.
Yeah, it's like we just pretend that these things matter. Is it better orange versus blue?
Right.
Like,
I have an opinion.
oh well, yeah, obviously. And then you get into this like hour discussion of why.
I disagree.
Yeah, exactly. And then you make a decision, and then you release a product, and then it does okay. I mean, it doesn't have to do great.
Right.
And then if it doesn't do great, you come up with reasons why it didn't do great, and then you get evaluated by that.
And you explain it away.
Yeah.
You explain it away using the right language if it didn't do great, or you turn it into a massive success using the right language and metrics, or the opportunity to launch the next product.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the same. Use the buzzword that gives you company value, put it in the project, and then do everything you do always, all the time. And what I'm saying here is that, yes, maybe I shouldn't point at you. Me, as an individual at the company, had no value, regardless of how much work I got done or how much money I brought in. Everybody's replaceable.
When a publicly traded company reports its financial results, there's a section about critical talent, and it's usually the C-suite, certain inventors or patent holders, and sometimes a specific type of engineer, depending on the company. That's all.
Like we know how evaluation works in general for employees. And just for the fact, it's funny because every annual review, no matter where you are, managers end up getting really busy trying to make sure they communicate the value of their employee. Right? And that exercise is funny because they know already going in that their workers are valuable. And they're trying to prove to, I don't know, the group, the others, other teams, that their employee or their workers are really valuable. And then in some extreme cases, I don't know if it's still the case, some extreme cases, they argue with another manager why their engineers are worse than mine. And, it's kind of funny. Everybody got their work done. Everybody did above and beyond what they're supposed to do. And then now you're saying who is better, who is more valuable, and let's cut the bottom 10% or whatever. Whatever the exercise is. That's funny. And for the note, unfortunately, I wish it was based on just value, the layoff. Like that would have been actually more comforting. But the fact is, when I was laid off, my entire team got laid off. My entire org got laid off. Out of like 12 teams that were in the org, only 2 team remained. And even that 2 team, like very thin. And it was just purely a projection of like what's going to be necessary in this time. Who knows what the real reason is, but that's what happened. It was all the creative, more experimental teams. It's funny because a lot of us were working on AI. And ironically, and then like 2 months later, AI had a boom, and then they were like, "Oh, we got to get AI project going." But then like you just dropped like 10 AI projects that were about to launch. We had contracts and everything. So you never know what's valuable. So it is kind of arrogant to say it's based on value.
I'd be curious to also hear from, as I look through some of the comments, I saw a lot of comments around individuals with experience in startups and in smaller companies where they perhaps felt that it was easier for them to see their impact and potentially for that impact to be measured or at least translated through to the bottom line. If this feature doesn't get out, we lose a customer. So I'd be curious to hear if people, with that smaller company startup experience, feel the same about how they're valued, if they are valued, if they feel valued, and if you feel like, and how that contributed to your mindset as you were working.
Well, you heard the man. Leave it in the comments.
We'll read it next time.
Yes.
Do you want to end on a positive note or a negative note?
I don't know. What's more helpful? I mean, you're laughing, so I want to hear it. I have to hear it.
They're so spicy.
You made it so enticing that I cannot say like no.
Okay, so I'm gonna read these.
All right,
verbatim.
These are not your words.
No.
Okay.
These are from. I'm gonna do just 3 in a row.
Okay.
First one is game over, game over, game over, game over, game over, game over. It's you get the point.
Let's see.
The next one is boo-hoo, deep. Okay, there we go. And then the final, the capstone.
Okay.
You do no real work and instead make hundreds of TikTok video. Yeah, surprised they waited so long to fire you.
Okay. I mean,
I was just wondering,
yeah.
have you been holding out and
Uh,
not telling me about the hundreds of TikTok videos you have?
well, I do not have any TikTok videos, but I have a feeling.
That to be investigated.
Well, I don't think I have
You
the.
have a comment there that says
I mean,
hundreds.
maybe they want to see hundreds of TikTok.
Now we're talking.
They are doing what do you call reverse psychology
Yes,
on me.
you won't make hundreds of TikTok videos.
Yeah,
This person is actually your
like biggest fan.
biggest fan.
I think so. But I think I know why that's a comment. Obviously, these people didn't watch my video in the beginning. They just went based on the title. I think at the time there was a news story of this engineer crying on TikTok. I remember something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
right. That's right. Yeah.
And then
Right.
I think the news was that this person was already making TikTok about their work, like life
Right.
at these, I don't know, Google,
Right.
whatever.
I remember yes. I think if this was the same person, I remember something vaguely about this,
Yeah.
and
I think that was the timing that I saw that comment, if I remember correctly. But game over, boohoo. Like those are all mindset against tech bros, I guess. How I feel about that though, like I kind of feel bad for the people who feel the need to leave these comments to feel,
whatever it is they're
yeah.
expressing.
I mean, it takes a lot of. I mean, I tried to comment on like random YouTube videos. It takes a lot of effort.
It does. First, you got to think about what to say.
Yeah. So
I guess maybe you never know. Maybe that was a Chat GPT.
it could be ChatGPT. I guess you never know.
GPT troll.
Yeah, GPT
New
troll.
project.
Oh well, I hope not. I know how quickly that can
True.
can get
Out of hand.
yeah, out of hand. Yes, not kosher for sure.
No. No. So what are we going to do next time?
Next time? Are we doing next time?
I think I just invited myself back.
Okay, no, that's fine. Look, I like this conversations, and this is something that I wanted to do. One thing I did fear is that, like, I really want to continue making my video game related,
Right.
development related contents, and that's what I feel passionate about. But at the same time, I do have like every now and then desire to talk about these other things.
Makes sense.
But like all the people that are making contents are saying like, oh, you gotta niche down, you
Right.
gotta focus.
Right.
But like that's kind of boring. Like I want to do what I want to do. So maybe there is room for. I mean, also there's a bunch of comments we can react more, and
Right.
who knows? Maybe there.
We
will
only
be
got to
comments.
one video.
Yes, and maybe this could be something that can continue. I like, and it feels much better. So talking to myself, as fun
Yes.
as that is,
Yes.
having perspective, a little bit of maybe not always counter argument, but like
Right.
some sort of back and forth does help facilitate the communication. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I think we can call it a day. We've been
All
here
right.
for a while. Thanks for coming.
It's like enough upvotes, and I get to come back.
Yeah. I'm not gonna
Upvote me back.
Yeah. Likes. We call it likes on YouTube, I think.
Oh.
All right. And hey, you know what? It doesn't have to be him. We can bring
That's
somebody
true.
else back.
That's absolutely true.
Or we can bring him in addition to somebody else.
Three's a crowd.
We know a lot of people in the industry, so
That's
if you have
true.
any questions, we can answer those things, I think.
I can guarantee we could find someone.
Yeah. As long as the NDA permits, I think.
Oh, that's true. That's very fair.
But it'll be my job to coax those information out.
Yeah.
And not get them in trouble.
Right.
So we'll see. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video, probably about games. And hopefully you'll be back for another conversation. Thank you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.